Passaic County is a diverse place with both cities and suburban areas contrasted with the scenic beauty of our very rural areas. In 2010, we attended the Complete Streets Summit. It was an eye-opener. What we learned was streets are for everyone. Complete Streets better reflected our values and planning for the diversity of place, people, and choice. I guess you can say the summit started us thinking and brought us to the place that we are today, a county with a plan, policy, and an implementation strategy that we can be proud of.
A policy by itself isn't enough. We knew we needed to develop a decision-making process that outlined a vision, a policy, and design guidance that all mutually enforced each other. And that's what we did. Our policy was adopted in February of 2014 after 3 years of deliberate discussion, research, planning, and testing. The development of our transportation element of the master plan was the catalyst in the process. It created a forum for the planning and engineering departments to discuss the benefits of complete streets and how it could be applied to our county. Planning and engineering staff worked together to define a network of facilities in terms of land use and the context of each roadway that would have an impact on the feasibility, connectivity, and safety. So the Complete Streets guidelines serve as a pivot between the planning priorities and the engineering details outlined by New Jersey DOT and AASHTO. The policy was the final step in the process and has the distinction of being an implementation plan and not just a policy. The Complete Streets guidelines are just that, guidelines on how we implement complete streets. The guidelines aren't handcuffs and don't prescribe how everything should be done. They provide context and a decision-making tool in designing complete streets. It's really simple. Instead of projects standing alone on their own, they're now implemented within a framework of projects that show us the big picture of how complete streets work. So ultimately, I feel like we put together a very clear policy and planning framework, but success for us is going to be measured by outcomes. And in order to have outcomes, you have to have implementation.
Implementation of complete streets happens a few different ways and from a few different programs. We've made incredible progress through our resurfacing program. This is the low-hanging fruit that is inexpensive but very impactful. The way the resurfacing program works, we evaluate the roadway width and then decide under the Complete Streets guidelines what treatments we can do to each road. Between 2012 and 2015, we've implemented over 100 miles of Complete Streets treatments, including 33 miles of shared roadways, 15 miles of bicycle lanes, 54 miles of traffic calming, and 8 miles of road diet. A road diet reduces the number of lanes dedicated to motor vehicles and provides that width for the exclusive use of pedestrians and bicyclists. Basically, our engineering isn't pro forma book value implementation. Judgment and really thinking about the vision and our transportation system comprehensively is how we approach things. I know that people have concerns about complete streets, such as liability and traffic impacts. However, we were very confident in those two aspects because as long as we followed the accepted engineering standards, liability is not an issue at all. And as long as we do the proper traffic studies to assess the impact on traffic, then that also is not an issue. It's a better way of doing things, and we think it's been great for the county.
By authorizing a complete streets policy, we direct our planning and roads departments to incorporate these considerations into everything that they do, from major capital plans to annual restriping and resurfacing projects. The freeholder's authorization also lets our municipalities know that we'll support and work with them to make complete streets a reality in every city and town. I'm proud that Passaic County has the most comprehensive complete streets policy in the state of New Jersey. It's something we've determined supports our communities, and is something that we're going to support today and going forward.